Good morning, friends, and welcome back to the channel. I am the Soap Chef here on this channel where we make all things with a rather good lather, here and on my regular main channel. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to talk just briefly about the word mentor and what that actually means. For those of us who have placed ourselves in positions on any social media platform in such a way that we are teaching or advising other people regarding our craft in this industry, that makes us a mentor. We have to put ourselves in that position. Nobody else did that. Our followers, our subscribers, our members, none of those people put us in the position of being a mentor. We did that ourselves. If you're making videos that are instructing people with recipes, ingredients, all of the attributes and the benefits of those ingredients, how to put those ingredients together and combine everything in such a way, and the methods that are used and the sanitary precautions that are used for products that we either are going to use for ourselves or sell to other people. That has nothing to do with it. But if we have put ourselves in that position, that makes us a mentor. Let's just look at what the definition is of a mentor. I have it pulled up right here on my computer screen, and this is from dictionary.com. It says, I don't know if you guys can hear me because my back's going to be turned to you. Sorry. Mentorship is the patronage, influence, guidance, or direction given by a mentor. A mentor is someone who teaches or gives help and advice to a less experienced and often younger person. In an organizational setting, a mentor influences the personal and professional growth of the mentee. So the reason why I want to discuss this really briefly, and let me also start off by saying I have no right to lecture anybody about anything. I sure don't. Nobody put me in charge of everybody in the world. Nobody put me in charge of the maker community. These are my personal opinions. These are my personal feelings about things. You can take it, you can leave it. I'm going to discuss it either way, only because there are so many people all over social media, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, especially TikTok. Oh my Lanta. Don't get me started on TikTok and the horrible information that gets put out over there. Twitter once in a while. I don't get really on there at all. YouTube. There's a whole plethora of spaces on the interwebs that there is an abundance of misinformation being spewed all over the place. And this is not something new. This has been going on for decades and decades and decades. How do I know this? Because I've been around for decades. I've been in this particular field for 21 years. I've seen a lot. I've been around the block a time or two, you know? So I just think if we ourselves place ourselves in a position of being a mentor, I'm sorry if you guys are hearing, oh my goodness, there's a strange gentleman in the front here cutting grass. Okay, that's interesting. Anywho, if we place ourselves in a position of being a mentor, don't we have somewhat of a responsibility to give out truthful and factual information based on evidence that we ourselves have gained, or our own experiences, our own knowledge? And P.S. and by the way, just because I've been doing this for 21 years doesn't make me any better than you. And you as a general scope, not you particular, the person who is watching this right now, but you in a general sense. That doesn't make me better than anybody. I am not better than anybody. And I also have to say, I still learn. If we get to a point at any time where we're going to close our mind and we are going to think that we are better than other people because of our longevity, that's no bueno, right? That's not a good attitude to have. In the video that we're going to make, it's going to be primarily addressing bath bomb binders. What should we be using? as a bath bomb binder. I have to tell you, it's really, 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 really frustrating to see over and over and over again a number of people who have been doing this for a long time, some of them not so long, but still in all, saying you can only do this, and if you do it any other way than this, you're not going to be successful. In particular, we're going to be discussing water versus alcohol or witch hazel. Those are the three binders that people use to make their bath bombs. You guys know what I use. I use a combination of witch hazel and rubbing alcohol, and there's a reason for that. And we're going to talk about that as soon as we go over to Creation Station. The point of this video is not to put down any other maker. That is not my point. It's to kind of get across the point that please make your own decisions. Please do your own research. Yes, ask more experienced people what their personal opinion is, because let's face it, you guys, that's all this is, coming from me or anybody else anywhere else. It's their personal opinion. And unless they can show you scientific evidence, that's all it is. It's your personal opinion. So why don't we just go over to Creation Station? We're going to get busy making a couple of bath bombs using the molds that we make and sell. And we're going to talk about water and alcohol and witch hazel as your binders. And then we're going to do a test at the end, and we're going to see, are there any differences? Is one better than the other? Or are people just spewing out misinformation and bad information? There's a lot of new people coming up in the ranks right now that really need direction. They need help. They need guidance. They need the truth. So what I try to do is to give them my opinion based on 21 years of my own personal experience, and then I say, please do your own research. Please figure this out for yourself. Make your own decisions. Don't listen to anything that I say or anybody else. It's our personal opinions. I know I've said that word many times here lately, and I don't know what this is. Maybe it's because the season is just starting for a bunch of people, and a lot of soap makers want to include bath bombs to their repertoire, which is fantastic. And they're getting a lot of bad information. Why don't we as mentors try to be more helpful and say to them, maybe just change our verbiage, okay? This is what I do. This is what works for me. This may not work for you, but it might. Try it and see if it does. And if you need extra help on maybe how to tweak it so that it does work for you, let me know. I'm always here, I'm always available, and I'm always willing to help. I will never ever say to you, if you don't do it my way, you're not going to be successful. Let's go over to Creation Station, and you're gonna find out along with me just what the brouhaha is about binders. Let's go. Okay, before we get going on doing all the bath bomby stuff, I wanted to do a very quick unboxing from one of my customers, actually, who is a lovely woman. She buys a lot of my bath bomb molds, and where was I? I don't know. I was in some other group, and I was talking about pickle fragrances because I've got our pickle mold here. It's so cute. Here's our pickle mold, and here's our pickle. This is the one with the face. That particular mold, we took the face off because another customer wanted the pickle mold and they wanted to take the face off. So we did take the face off of there. But anyway, here's my pickle mold, or my pickle bath bomb rather. But this person, Krista, my customer Krista, was saying that she has pickle fragrance. So she said, I'm not going to use it anymore. Do you want it? And I'm like, okay, sure. So not only did she send me that, she sent me a whole bunch of other stuff. So here's my beautiful note. It's private. You can't read that. She sent me all kinds of goodies here in addition. So here we go. There's actually a pickle fragrance, a dill pickle fragrance. Can you believe that? I want to smell this. Oh my Lanta, if that doesn't smell like a dill pickle. It does. My gosh, that's awesome. Thank you, Krista, so much for sending this to me. This is going to be put to very good use. So there's that. Greetings from Seattle. Oh, that's a nice little card. Beautiful, with my little note. And of course, the pickle fragrance. And then she sent me some goodies. She sent me some freeze-dried goodies in the form of Skittles and Mary Jane's. Look at this. Isn't that cool? She makes these. I hope she sells them. I'm not sure if she does, but I hope she does. I haven't tried them yet, but I know Mr. Soap Chef is going to get his grubby mitts all over this. And then also, I'm really excited about this. She sent me some raspberry rhubarb homemade jam. Look at this. I'm not going to open it right now, but you better believe that's going to be on some bread later on. Wow, impressive. Thank you so much, Krista. And then the last thing that she sent me was a little hunk of her own clear melt and pour soap that she made from scratch. We had been discussing this, I don't even remember when, but we had been discussing this on how to get it to be really, really clear. And one of the things that other people do is they use TEA. But to her point in what she said, and the same thing happened to me as well, it didn't really make it clear. It didn't. And then also it kind of crystallizes in the container after a while, and mine did the same exact thing. But I could say this is hard. I mean, it may not be crystal clear, but this is her own melt and pour soap base from scratch. It's hard as a rock, you guys. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. So thank you so much, Krista, for sending me all of these wonderful gifts. We're not even personal friends, but I think we're going to get there pretty quickly. But she's just a wonderful person, and she's a wonderfully supportive customer. So thank you one more time, Krista. I really appreciate the lovely gifts. Now, let's get on to the bath bomb situation. Busy over here making a couple different batches of some bath bombs. I'm using my own personal recipe, which you can find in a couple of other videos on the channel, but I will put the info link up here or up there or wherever it's going to go. Anyways, I'll tell you guys what it is I'm using, but if you want the written version so you can print it off for yourself, it is in a couple of the other videos. And please remember also, in the very beginning of the series that I did, we started off with the bare bones basic bath bomb recipe, which is bare bones nothing. That one will fizz out really, really quickly because we don't have any butters in there. We don't have any bubblers in there. So that one, in the fizzing out really quickly, is what people are talking about and what they're complaining about. They get in the tub and it only lasts a couple of minutes at best, and there's like no fragrance. That being said, we're going to be doing a white batch first with no color on the outside. I'm going to put different color embed powder on the inside, but I'm going to do water as my binder for this white batch so we can tell the difference tomorrow when we come back and we go and do the tap test to see what the difference is, if any. We can go ahead and know what the difference is. The white batch is going to have water as the binder. I'm also going to do a red batch, and that's going to have my own bath bomb spray of witch hazel and rubbing alcohol as the binder for that. For this batch that's white, I'm going to be scenting it in cotton candy, and that's one of the things that I wanted to address, like I said in the beginning of the video, as far as fragrance is concerned. And the second complaint that people come to me all the time with is the fragrance. They really can't smell the bath bomb. It's not scenting the water. They would like it to linger on their skin just for a little while after they are done with their bath. And so that has to do with a lot of different things. As far as bath bombs are concerned, because you're soaking in it, you can go up to 3% on your fragrance oils in a bath bomb. However, please do check with the manufacturer and what the IFRA rates are on that. And if you don't know what IFRA is or how to get onto that website, I can link that down below as well. However, any good manufacturer or supplier of any type of a product that we're going to be putting on our skin should have all that information on their website anyhow. Now you're going to see the difference between the two different colors and the two different fragrances that I'm going to be using today because they have different rates. Just because the general rule of thumb is that you can use your fragrance oils up to 3% doesn't mean that you should on all of them. I like to fragrance mine pretty heavily, but again, I still go up to the manufacturer's website. On the bottles that we're going to be using today of the fragrance oils, and I do this with all of the ones that I use for my bath products only, I go ahead and I write what the IFRA rate is, and I go right to the site and look for their IFRA information. So for the white batch, we're going to be using Cotton Candy from Wellington Fragrance, and as you can see, I already have a plus 3% written on the bottle. That means I can go up to 3% if I want to, according to what they have on their website for IFRA with Cotton Candy fragrance oil from Wellington. I'm not going to use that much because I usually don't go up that high. I am going to use 1.5% of this because that's what my formula calls for. So let's just go ahead and do that now. I put all of my liquid oils into one container just for ease of use. So let's do the 1.5% for this batch is going to be 1 ounce, 1.08 ounces. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Next, we're going to put in our polysorbate 80. And this is going to be used at 1%, which is 0.72. Next, we're going to be used distilled water as my binder for this white batch. That is also going to be at 1%, which is 0.72. All right, very good. Get this off of here. Give it a little mix. I've got all of my other ingredients ready to go already. In here I have, with my dry ingredients, I always put my surfactants on the bottom, then I use my kaolin clay and cream of tartar and baking soda, so I kind of bury those surfactants so that we can lessen the amount of particles that are going to poof up into the air, and you're going to be breathing that stuff in, unless you have one of these hanging around your neck. Okay, dry ingredients. We have milk powder, 0.5%, kaolin clay, 0.5%, cream of tartar, 2%, SCS, 1%, SLSA, 1%, SCI, 1%, baking soda, 54.5%. And over here off to the side by itself, we're going to add this in last, is the citric acid, 34.5%. You will notice that this is a higher amount than what most people would use. For instance, if most people are going to use 50% of their baking soda, they will cut that directly in half and use 25% on the citric. Across the board, you'll see that all over the place. The reason why I use a higher percentage of the citric is because I use those 3 surfactants, and surfactants will slow down your fizz a lot. So I increase my fizzing ingredient so that we're not just going to have a bath bomb that's just laying there doing nothing but foaming. That's nice. That's pretty for the bath art, but people want the fizzing action too. They want it all. And I don't blame them, you know what I mean? These products aren't cheap to make, which means they're not cheap for our customers to purchase, right? So that's the situation on all the dry ingredients. The reason why people's bath bombs are fizzing out prematurely and the end user is not getting a good, relaxing, pleasurable experience because it fizzes out so quick is because they're not using any of the bubblers. They're not using the butters, which help to moisturize everything too, but it also kind of slows down the fizzing action. All of these things combined will slow down your fizzing action. Not to the point of a standstill, but I can tell you that the longest bath bomb of mine that I have ever had, and I've done the test on either one of my channels, I forget which one, but I've done it. 42 minutes was the longest that one of my round bath bombs took. The least amount of time, I believe, was 30 minutes. We timed that actually just the other day. Mr. Chef wanted to take a bath, and so we timed that 32 minutes or 30 minutes and 42 minutes, as opposed to the bath bombs that I made on the channel in the very beginning. Bare bones basic bath bomb, for those people that, you know, are just starting out and you just need a couple little ingredients, that one fizzed out in 3 minutes. So if you were the end consumer, that would not be a pleasurable experience for you, right? You'd be a little bit annoyed that you just spent $5, $6, $7 on a bath bomb and it lasted for 3 minutes and your skin isn't, you know, really soft at the end of it. Your skin doesn't smell really nice at the end of it. Well, we're going to change all that today. But again, back to the main point of this video was to address that as far as fizzing out, addressing fragrances and, you know, why people aren't smelling the fragrance in their bath water. How much can you use? We've already discussed all of that kind of stuff. And then the last little thing that we're going to be doing today, again, we're going to be using water instead of my bomb spray because I'm telling you, I see it so much, you guys, and it's just bad information. You know, people telling you that you have to use water or you're not going to be successful. Yes, please use water. And if it doesn't work for you, use something else. It might work really, really well for you, and it might not. I'm telling you what, unless somebody shows me some scientific evidence, factual truths that tell me unequivocally that the only thing you should be using is water, or it's going to be powdery, it's going to crack, it's going to crumble, it's going to have fissures, it's not going to dry properly, it's not going to be hard enough for you to be able to package and ship it. Nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And if someone wants to continue to push that agenda, show me the proof. That's what I say, and that's why I tell you guys, do your own research. Don't take my word for any damn thing. Do your own research. But we're going to get going here, okay? So in here, all the powders, I'm going to put my mask up because I do have those bubblers on the bottom. All right away, we're going to get our wet ingredients into the pool. You guys just saw me measure all this out, and this is using water as my binder. I am only going to do a couple of the bath bomb molds. I'll do 2 on camera anyways. I really am in bath bomb land right now. So I'm making a lot of bath bombs, but I'm going to do 2 on camera with the water. Then I'm going to bring you guys back and we're going to do red using my binder. It's so cool to watch the liquid come bubble out. It's really cool. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you know, I bury it and it comes oozing and bubbling out. And then I bury it again. It's cool. Anyhow, enough playing around. But that's part of the fun too. If you guys aren't playing around and having fun, stop doing what you're doing. Really. Okay. That's done. Let's get in here. Let's mix. I apologize for all the sniffing that I've been doing in the videos too lately. The allergies are kicking in, boy. I'm just waiting to walk outside and see my vehicle completely covered in yellow pollen. Happens every year. All right, that's mixed pretty well. Now we got to add our butters. And for our butters, we use cocoa butter and shea butter. 0.75% on each one of these, cocoa butter and shea butter. And for those of you that live in a little bit more of a moist climate, butters are pretty much essential. But again, don't take my word for this, you guys, okay? Do your own research. Maybe you do live in a really, really humid environment and you've tried to do the oil and or butter thing to increase it because you live in a really humid environment. Maybe that didn't work for you. There's really, I'm telling you, gosh, you guys, I'm telling you, it's frustrating for me. I've been doing this for 21 years. And the things that I hear all over social media, don't do this. You should only do that. You can't do this. It's just nonsense, you guys. It really is. I can tell you that here in the summertime, now we don't get as humid as a lot of other places do, but it can get upwards of 70%, sometimes 80% humidity. It depends. It all depends. I have dehumidifiers running at all times here in the facility. So the moisture content, I'm going to add the citric acid now, last. So the moisture content outside is wildly different than what it is here in the facility. It could be perfectly fine here in the facility. Like right now, it's 36%, which is really, really low. I can tell you, if I was to go outside right now, it'd be wildly different. It would be way more wet. But again, I have dehumidifiers all over the facility. So maybe oils and butters won't work for you if you're in a more humid environment. It's all a matter of your personal preference, trial and error. All right, that's mixed really well. Let me take this mask down. All right, everything is ready to go. Let's just start going. We're going to do Squirtle, because we're going to make him white, and then we're going to spray paint him his other colors. I believe he's bluish because he's a turtle. Squirtle the turtle. Anyhow, all right, take some of your bath bomb mix. And no, I don't sell the character molds. I'm just not even going to get into any of that. All right, I make a little well right in the middle so that I can put my contrasting colors for my embed powder right in the middle. I don't use, you know, the embed cubes, I guess, in whatever shapes. Let me put a little bit more orange because Lush has the patent on that, and I'm not trying to get sued. All right, give it a little bit of a shake. Take our plunger, turn it over. Push and turn, that's what I do. Rid of the excess. Taps. Taps on the top. Taps on the bottom. See, I have to write on there because I don't know the names of all these characters. All right, let's just take that right off of there. There he is. Look at how cute his little face is. Let's push up and out. Get our handy dandy flip plate. Turn him over. Just take the bottom one right on off of there, and we'll flip him right back over. And there's Squirtle the turtle from Pokemon. So we put him off to the side over here. We'll do one more on camera, and then I'll do the rest of the stuff off camera, and I'll bring you guys back when we are ready to do the red batch. All right, let's do Toad from Mario, because he's white and red, or whatever other colors. All right, let's put some in there, sprinkle. I usually try to go about 3/4 of the way up on my mold, then I make my little divot, and then I'll go ahead and add my contrasting colors. All right, a little bit more on the top. Shake, shake, shake. Tap, tap, tap. Tap on the top. Turn it over. Push up and out. Take that off. That's got the design, so go slow. You don't want to rip it and yank it. Let's turn him over. Turn him over again. There you go. Beautiful, look at him. Cutesy. So now we've got Squirtle and we've got Toad. They are both in the white. They have both used water as their binder. Now tomorrow I will come back after we make our red ones on film, which we're going to do in a second. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll take a look. Are there any differences?
A few moments later.
Okay, we are back and we have a whole brand new batch over here ready to roll. We're going to get going in just a second, but what I wanted to tell you guys and show you guys, because I'm sure you're wondering, if I'm saying that water is perfectly fine to use as your binder, how come I don't use it? I have used it before. I don't like using it, and here's one of the reasons why. Because it dries out too fast while I'm making it. I always make 4-pound batches at a time of my bath bomb mixture, and usually about 3/4 of the way through making the bath bombs, it dries out pretty badly to the point where I have to add more binder. I have to add more water to it, and then that starts to activate the mix. This is not activated, and I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but you can definitely see the dimples, the small little dimples that have formed on each one of these because I had to add more binder at the end there. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 5 bath bombs that I did, I had to add more of the binder because it was drying out on me too much. And so then you can see these dimples. So that's the water trying to activate the mix. It didn't fizz, it didn't foam, it didn't do any of those things, but you can definitely see the little teeny dimples everywhere. So that is why I don't prefer to use water as a binder. You may have a wildly different experience than that. It may be perfectly fine for you. I like the witch hazel with the rubbing alcohol because yes, there is water in witch hazel. However, the rubbing alcohol that is also mixed in with my bomb spray, because I have 70% witch hazel and 30% rubbing alcohol. So this, the rubbing alcohol, counteracts, because I use 99%, counteracts some of the water percentage that is present in witch hazel. I almost never have an issue with my bath bomb mix drying out prematurely in the middle of me making it. Again, I make 4-pound batches all of the time. So that is why I personally do not use water as my binder. We're going to use my bomb spray, which again, 70% witch hazel, 30% rubbing alcohol. Combine those two, and when you have those combined and use that liquid, you're going to do the same thing that we did before, 1%, which is 0.72 ounces. Polysorbate, same as before, 1%, which is the 0.72. Now here's the tricky part. Remember we were talking before about going up and looking at all the IFRA information that is available for each individual fragrance that you may want to use. So now I'm going to be using Cherry from the same company, Wellington, but now look at the difference. Whereas the cotton candy, I could use that up to 3%. You can't do that on the Cherry. And believe me, this is really, really, really strong. You don't want to use this at any more than that. So I don't even get to use this one at the 1.5%. I have to stick to the 1.1 because that's what the IFRA says for that. So let's just go ahead and tear that out. And we're going to add the Cherry. All right, done. Give this a mix. All right, we're going to put that off to the side, and we're just going to get going here. All right, in here I have everything. Let me put my mask up because these powders are going to waft up a little bit. Hold, please. All right, in here I have everything the same as the original batch that we just did. Everything is the same. All the ingredients are the same. All the percentages are the same. The only difference in this batch is it's going to be colored. And so I have used 1 full tablespoon of red 40 Lake. I don't use dyes in my bath bombs. I don't like them. They fade really, really quickly when you're outdoors at events. And then it looks all mottled and really, really nasty. It just doesn't look good. The colors just fade so quickly. And they stain more, in my personal experience. They stain more than Lakes do. I'm just trying to break up some of the smaller little clumps that are in here from that color. We're going to get in here obviously with our hands and do a little bit of a better job. But okay, let's get all that liquid with our bomb spray, witch hazel, and rubbing alcohol into the pool. Again, I'm going to do 2 bath bombs on camera. And then I will bring you guys back tomorrow after we have had at least a good 12 hours of hardening and drying anyways. At least that much. All right, let's get in here. I mean, even at the 1.1%, this fragrance is really, really strong. I mean, really strong. And that's why it's really important, you guys, to go up and look at the IFRA on each individual fragrance that you purchase from that company. Go to their website and see what it says. All right, that's mixed in pretty well. All right, let's get our cocoa butter and our shea butter into the pool. All right, we're good there. Let's add our citric acid last. I mean, I love to look at all of those bath bombs that are so brightly colored. They are eye-catching, man, let me tell you. Your eye gets drawn right to them. They're so beautiful. But I really don't need my skin to be stained. I really don't want my tub and shower to be stained. I don't want my wash rags to be stained. And a lot of those really, really, really bright and vivid colors are achieved by using the dyes. All right, you guys, we are ready to roll here in bath bomb land, right? Boop, there we go. Let me change out my gloves because I hate the feeling of the gloves after I have like mixed and mixed and mixed. All right, let's rock and roll, you guys. Let's do an apple. We'll do an apple and we'll do a watermelon. And then the rest of the stuff I will do off camera. All right, here's our apple mold. Cute, huh? All right, let me get my contrast colors actually ready. Okay, sprinkle, sprinkle. Break up some of the big clumps if you do happen to have them. All right, I'm gonna make my divot. I'm only using 2 colors with the contrast in this one because the outer bath bomb has its own color. All right, sprinkle some more on the top, give it a shake, take our plunger, tap, 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 tap on the top, Turn it over. You can just go ahead and take this right up on off of there if you'd like. Push it up and out. Turn it over. And there's our beautiful apple. All right, we're going to put you over there to the side. Okay, let's do a watermelon slice. Make my divot, or my well, I should say. Why do I keep saying divot? Is that a correct terminology? Is that something that like golfers use that term? I think. All right, plunger. Whenever I have some designs on the bottom plate, I usually give it a couple of extra taps, just for insurance. Push up and out. Take that, well, let's turn this over and just take the plunger off first because that's the flat bottom. All right, let's get that on there, turn it over. Now we can lift straight up and off. And there's our watermelon slice. Okay. So we've got watermelon slice and we've got the apple. And these were both made using my own binder, which is the witch hazel and the alcohol combination. So I'm going to finish the rest of these bath bombs off camera. And then I'm going to bring you guys back tomorrow after these have had a little bit of time to harden up and do their thing. And then we're going to do the spoon test and tap on them and see, is either one of those better than the other one? Well, stick around and find out.
The next day.
Okay, it is the next day and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the bath bombs that we made yesterday. The white ones, if you remember, were made using water as my binder, and the red ones were made using my own binder, which consists of the witch hazel and the rubbing alcohol. So let's push those aside and we're going to go ahead and just test these white ones. First of all, let's see if there's any powdery look or feel to it. Nope. Feels pretty hard. Let's do this one. Feels pretty hard. All right, let's put you over here. Now let's look at mine. Well, they're all mine, but you know what I mean. Let's see, is there any powdery look or feel to mine using the witch hazel and the rubbing alcohol as a binder? Doesn't look powdery at all. Doesn't feel powdery. Is it hard? Yep. How about the apple? Looks fine, smooth, beautiful. Now, a little bit of the color is coming off as opposed to the white. That's just common sense. This is a color that has no color. But as far as like a powdery, like you guys can see, I mean, there's no powdery look or feel. Is it hard? Yes. Now we're going to do the spoon test, but keep in mind, I am not going to be whacking these really hard because they're like, what? I think they're about 18 hours old at this point. So I am going to tap so you can hear how hard they are, but I'm not going to really go nutso because it will crack in half. All right, let's look at Squirtle the turtle. Let's turn him over and do it on the back of everybody because I don't want to ruin the designs. Let's turn everybody over. There we go. All right. So One of the other things that people say all the time is if you use water as your binder, it's going to be really hard and you're going to be able to package that and ship that out. But if you use anything else, you won't be able to do that because it's not going to be hard enough to package or ship. Nonsense. Here we go. Is this hard? Yep. That's the water. Is this one hard? Also, yes. Okay. Put you guys over there. All right, how about mine that's used, that I use the witch hazel and rubbing alcohol? Is it hard? Yep. Also, yep. All right. So, in my personal opinion, they're exactly the same. There is no difference in either of these. Neither one is powdery, flaky, crumbly. There's no cracks. There's no fissures. There's nothing disparaging happening on either one of these. They're not powdery. Both of them are very hard. Both of them could be packaged today and shipped out today. So if anybody is telling y'all, don't do this, you can only do that, stop listening and run away. So that's going to do it for this video today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you did, give it a big thumbs up for me, would you? Like, subscribe, share, comment, do all of those type of things. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a video like this. And until we meet again, y'all, be kind, stay humble, and make your own good decisions.